Hey, everybody. Uh-oh. Welcome to our Tuesday night keynote. My name is Keandra Ward. I am the founder of the KWI Collective. We are a marketing, public relations, and media firm uh, located here in Tampa. We are excited because in addition to those three avenues, we have added the opportunity to help entrepreneurs with their funding. So our goal is to help you build brand authority in the areas of marketing, public relations, media, and funding. And we do that through our one-on-one sessions, our groups, our events, all of those type of things. But I'm excited because my goal is to be and come live to you guys every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. That is when my life settles down enough for me to come on for 15 to 20 minutes to chat with you guys. And just give you some tips and knowledge and information. Sometimes we'll just be, we'll chat it up in regards to anything. It could be marketing, public relations, media, or funding, and sometimes general business. If I get a lot of inquiries about a certain topic, then I will definitely have a keynote around that topic. However, for the month of December, our Tuesday night topics will be centered around 2025 marketing trends and just some general funding trends that I have learned along the way of helping other entrepreneurs. Okay. So listen, guys, we're going to get right to it. If you see me moving my eyes like this, is because I have dual screens and I need to make sure that I am reviewing my notes and giving you everything that I want to give you. So I have 20 marketing tips for 2025. So of course, we're not going to get through all of them in one session. So I will be splitting them up in increments of 5 over the next 4 weeks. Okay. So let's get right into it. These sessions, I don't want to make more than 20 minutes. So I'll try to kind of run through. If it extends longer, I hope you stay. So one of the things in our private group, I always tell them, instead of saying hashtag replay, I want you to say hashtag tapped in to let me know that you are tapped into the frequency of what we're doing, the content, all of those things. So when you are watching the replay, instead of saying hashtag replay, I want you to say hashtag tapped in. And that way I will know that you have joined in even after the live. Hashtag tapped in. All right. So when we think about marketing, I've been doing marketing sessions pretty much the whole month of November. And one of the things that I want entrepreneurs to understand is marketing one is about research. And you hear it all the time that marketing is more than social media, and it really is. But the first step in having and curating a sound marketing plan is doing research on your industry, and then research on your personal brand. Then once you kind of have an idea, you'll know where you fall. But when we look at just the things that are trending in the marketing space in general, I want to just first begin with, the one that everybody's been talking about. You guys know AI. So we've been talking, there's been a lot of talk around AI for several years. And I think people are just now at a place of like, hey, let me start focusing on this. Let me make sure that I understand what AI is and how it can help my business. And I know a lot of us are already using it, whether it's Chat GPT or any other resource. So I want you to really look at AI from the customer service experience, from the customer experience. So in 2025, not only will we be utilizing AI to create our content, do things like that, but we will also be utilizing AI to enhance the customer experience. So there's a lot of opportunities to do that, where AI can be your voice recorder, your answering machine, and then when someone asks a question, it can answer it. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. will be able to predict some of your analytic data a lot more using AI. So that gives you an idea of where you can show up within the in the space of where your target market is or what you're trying to accomplish is. And then more efficient content creation, being able to really streamline what that process looks like, which also takes some weight and time off of you, which is what most people are looking for. Most of the sessions that I had in the month of November around marketing, people said, I just don't have the time. I ain't got the time. I ain't got the time. I ain't got the time. And, you know, people are trying to find shortcuts and they're trying to find ways to do it, or they realize that they have to hire a company to assist them in that. And so whatever that looks like for you, utilize research and utilize, well, here's what I'll say. Figure out where the areas where you need help and go online and see if there are any AI supplements that can help you with that. And then move on from there. All right. The second thing, number 2, short form video content, which is why my lives, I want to keep it at a certain time, because we're in a microwave world. This has always been, you know, I don't want you to, most people won't spend 30 minutes, an hour on a live as much, you know, depending on the content and who it is and what they're talking about. Yes. However, you want to do short form content, kind of get in there, hit them with the goods, and invite them to learn more by going into a longer experience with you. Okay. So leveraging TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, just to engage them, make it concise and impactful. Number 3, voice search optimization. So optimizing your content using voice activated devices, and what that does is that enhance searchability, and it makes and accessibility. So it makes when you do it through that way, if you're clear, then it eliminates kind of typing in the wrong spelling and things like that. So those are things that will be coming. They're trending for 2025 in the marketing space. Influencer partnerships. We know that that's always been, especially over the last 5 to 10 years, maybe, it's been an increasing factor. But what I want you guys to think about is collaborating with influencers, even within your local market. Most people are like, oh, I have to call, find the biggest star. And I'm not saying do that too. Okay. But let's look at influencers within your local market that can influence you locally and build your audience locally, as well as, you having the opportunity to look for national exposure through influencer partnerships. Okay. So think about that, look for micro and nano influencers, and that helps you, that are in your target audience, right? So don't pick an influencer, whether they are a superstar or not, that doesn't align with your target market. It's cute, it's like, oh, people may like it, but you really want to understand who your target market is and align with partners who have the same beliefs as you when you're looking for partnerships. Okay. And number 5 for today for our marketing, and then we'll talk a little bit about funding, augmented reality. I have not delved into it too much, so I had to do a little bit of research, but implementing AR into your offer, it provides a more immersive experience. And I mean, it makes it more interactive and immersive. If you can do that within, especially if you have an online experience, I can see the value in that. But I have not played with it a lot. So that's something that I personally will probably look into just to see. But looking at augmented reality software and experiences to activate within your brand. Okay. So those 5, let me go through them again. I'm not going to talk about each one, but I'm going to highlight. We talked about artificial intelligence, short form video content. What else did I talk about? Short form video content. I discussed voice search optimization, influencer partnerships, and augmented reality experiences within your brand. So, you know, things that they can click and play and do and touch, and make a more of an interactive experience when connecting um, with your brand. All right. So listen, guys, the one thing that I will say is that there's so many things that you can do. Figure out what works for you and do that and do it well. That's the thing about marketing. You don't have to do everything, but find out what works for you and make sure you master it and do it well. Okay. So let's switch gears. Let's get into just sharing more about the funding piece. What I love and what I'm loving about this is really having the opportunity to talk to entrepreneurs in regards to changing what they feel brand authority is, or adding to that. So when we say building brand authority, that means solidifying yourself as an expert, being visible, being known in a space, being an authority figure in a space, within your niche and things like that. However, what I've realized is it's hard to build and it's hard to sustain brand authority if you don't have the proper finances or the proper financial foundation, simply because you won't have the money to keep up with the apps and all of this new technology that's coming out. It won't allow you to move with the trends, right? It won't allow you to move with the flow of business as easily as you would like to. Not that you can, and not that you have to have it, to be successful. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is it does sometimes hinder the progress because you need the money for the apps, for the client management systems, for the email marketing platforms, for your video recording platforms, all of those things, right? So the first thing that I will say as it relates to the trends that I would love for you guys to begin to look at as it relates to building brand authority in the area of funding. Let me make sure I grab my notes. You have to understand that access to funding ensures your brand has, I want to make sure I read. I was doing good writing my notes for y'all. So when we have access to funding, it ensures that your brand has the resources that it needs to move forward. It gives you ability to grow. It gives you the ability to serve more, to give more, things like that. So I want you to think about scalability. When it's time for you to scale and you're at that place where it's your next level of scaling, what does that look like? And what type of funds will you need in that process of scaling? It allows you to scale your operations, expand your reach, because you do have the funding available. Now, here's what I will say, and here's what I am finding. It is not that you all are not capable of getting the funding, of getting the funding and paying the funding back if it's a loan. Let's say that loans versus grants. It's not that you can't pay it back, right? What we're finding is that your current credit score or credit utilization is not, what's the best way to, isn't up to par to get funding. So you may get denied even though you make so much money, and you can show that you can pay it back, but your personal credit history, or you currently have cards with credit cards maxed out or close to maxed out, so your utilization is high, and so it makes you more of a risk when lending, which then could lead to a denial. And so what we've been doing here is helping first to identify if you're in that category. And if you are, we are then helping you rebuild and strengthen those areas so that you can have a very strong financial profile when going for lending, right? So those are the things that I want you to think about. I want you to really look at what is your credit score? What does that look like? Is your utilization high? Are you currently doing is it a lot of spending on your current cards? Is it high, right? And so if it is, then those are the things that I want you to start working on. Of course, I want you to come to us. Of course, I want you to reach out to me. Let me put it in here as well. What I would love for you to do, if you have questions or you just need to kind of walk through it with someone, I've been excited to create a safe space for entrepreneurs to do so, a safe space for us to really talk about where you are and how to get you to your next. I could care less where you've been. What I care about is if you understand where you've been, and what you did there to make the necessary corrections so that we can devise a plan for where you're going. All right. So funding is a very strong, you'll hear me talking more and more about the funding strategies and piece that we've added. And I'm excited about that. And you'll also hear more about the story behind it and how we got here. But I do feel like if I looked at our pillars and I said, okay, our pillars are building brand authority in the spaces of marketing, public relations, and media. But in all of those things, you need to have a strong financial backing to be successful. So it just made sense to add funding and helping with your funding strategy and what that looks like, whether it's debt consolidation, whether debt help, um, credit help, finding funding for loans, things like that. I want you to be effective and successful. Okay. So keep an eye out on my pages, because anytime we have a client win, whether it's in marketing, PR, or media, and now funding, we'll post it. And I'd love for you to continue to celebrate those who are taking that step to get clarity, so that they can gain focus, so that their ultimate goal of generating profits becomes a true reality. Consistently generating profits becomes a true reality. So I definitely hope that this information has helped you guys. Remember, I am going to be here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. My name is Keandra Ward. I'm the founder of the KWI Collective, a marketing, public relations, and media firm where we help you get clarity, gain funding. I'm sorry, gain funding, get clarity, gain focus, so that you can consistently generate profits. The one thing that I want to leave for you is always remember that you set the tone for your day, year, and life. Make it a great one, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.